Okay, let's call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Present is Commissioner Von Gossel, Commissioner Otto, Commissioner Notar Francesco, Commissioner Prass, Commissioner Siliano, myself. Absent is Vice Chair Wilcox. Permits for the public areas. Anyone in the?
There are three. I don't see any hands raised at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Okay, correspondence. The only correspondence is one that's distributed to everybody with the email. Yes, thank you. Okay.
It's a correspondence that I mailed. If you want me to read it, I don't mind.
Oh.
So this is a letter I sent to Father Greg St. John's, appointing him as our police chaplain officially. And we talked about it in the meetings, and I decided that was the best course of action for the department, for community, and for me as a chief. So I sent him this letter, and then he sent a nice thank you note back accepting the position. So, dear Father Greg, it is with great respect and admiration that I formally inform you that you've been selected by Chief of Police William C. Onofrio and approved by Old Saybrook Police Commission to serve as the police chaplain for the Old Saybrook Police Department and our community. This appointment is both meaningful and personal to me. You have and continue to play an important role in the faith and spiritual well-being of me and my family. Your guidance, compassion, and presence have provided comfort, strength, and perspective during both challenging and meaningful moments in our lives. For that, I am sincerely grateful. It is because of those experiences and the respect I have for your character and ministry that I have wanted to ensure officers, staff, their families, and the citizens of Old Saybrook have the same access and to the same support, encouragement, and guidance whenever it may be needed. While law enforcement officers are often exposed to stressful and difficult situations, I also believe strongly that the role of police chaplain should extend well beyond time of crisis. I hope that you will become an important and visible part of our department family, sharing not only in difficult moments, but also in positive and meaningful moments that define our profession and our community. Whether it is ceremonies, celebrations, community events, retirements, promotions, awards, or simply day-to-day interactions with our officers and residents, I believe your presence, faith, leadership will strengthen the bonds within our department and the community we proudly serve. The role of police chaplain is an important one. The police chaplain serves as a trusted source of emotional and spiritual support for our officers, civilian staff, their families, and the members of the community. Chaplains provide a ministry of presence during times of crisis, tragedy, uncertainty, and grief, helping bring calm, reassurance, and humility and humanity to difficult situations. Equally important, they help foster unity, encouragement, compassion, and a sense of purpose during the many positive moments experienced through our career of public service. In addition to supporting officers dealing with stress, trauma, burnout, and personal hardship, police chaplains often assist agencies and communities through death notifications, support for crime victims and families, outreach efforts, and other situations where compassion and understanding are essential. Your ability to connect with people during both joyful and difficult moments makes you uniquely suited for this responsibility. I have complete confidence that your leadership, faith, and dedication to serving others will have a profound and positive impact on our department and the community we proudly serve. On behalf of the Old State Police Department and Police Commission, I want to personally thank you for your willingness to accept this role and support our mission. We are honored to welcome you as police chaplain and look forward to working alongside you in service to our officers and citizens of Old Saybrook. Please, with sincere appreciation and respect, Chief William Onofrio.
That's nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he responded with a very nice note back. So he did accept the position, and we're going to be merging into a lot of things we do. Like I said, both positive and kind of supportive as well. I think it would be a needed resource.
Thank you. I think that this was good to share that letter with us and with the public, mostly because it took the conversation we had. So it's completed the process.
Yeah, and I think the community knows what to expect. You know,
Yep.
the roles of everybody. And it's non-denominational, just because he's a Catholic priest, doesn't mean that that's all he serves. He serves all our community and all our officers.
Thank you.
And that's all I have for correspondence.
Okay, moving on to the meeting minutes. I entertain a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from April 27th, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion?
No, thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, moving on. Executive reports. You can start with her.
Yeah, also fill away the operating budget. We're still surplus. Getting to those. I did send a memo today, which I'll read. Board finance meetings. I got some of our accounts that are in which are anticipated. And I'll explain why. And that's usually what I go over in our operating budget overview monthly. I still tracking that we're having surplus. You know, our salary funds and vacation time has been used to a level where I think we're going to come anywhere close, so we're going to have a decent amount left to balance out some of these accounts that are in the negative. Obviously, we've been working with one vacancy and some dispatch vacancies throughout the year. And the delta from the captain position, which is not filled by Captain Crawford here. So the salary is what's really going to drive the surplus, as well as the vacation day coverage, which the officers just didn't use as much as we had projected. So this memo will serve to explain some of the deficiencies in the accounts. I just wanted to read it. I think it's best to just read it. So this is to the finance director, but it's going to be read at the board. Several of these budget line items have remained relatively unchanged. The subject, I'm sorry, is explanation of police department budget line overages. Some of these budget line items have remained relatively unchanged or have seen only minimal increases since prior to 2020. While maintaining consistent funding levels year over year, but they have appeared cost effective at the time, it has become increasingly difficult to sustain operations with those limits given the continued rise in costs associated with services, equipment, maintenance, and training. For the fiscal year 26-27 fiscal budget, the department has attempted to utilize actual expenditures from previous fiscal years in order to construct a more accurate and reflective budget for anticipated expenses and operating costs moving forward. I think a lot of you remember that when we were going over the budget, we're actually using the actuals to try to put those budget line items in account where they should be. And then I go over each line item. These are the ones that have some deficiencies in them. PD general expenditures, purchase professional services account. No funds were originally allocated for this line item at the start of this year. Following the retirement of Sergeant Gardner from the IT operations, the department contracted with JKS to provide ongoing IT support services. The annual contract is $81,500, paid on a monthly basis, and they expect to be renewed August 26th to 2026 for fiscal year 2027. In addition, expenses associated with the police chief and captain recruitment and assessment process were paid from this account. So move on to PD general expenditures legal services line item. The Dago Law Group was retained by acting police chief last year to conduct an independent investigation related to a citizen complaint. The costs associated with that investigation resulted in overages in this account. It turned out to be a very costly investigation. I think we spent over $15,000 on that one investigation. Line item PD general expenditures, repairs and maintenance. Current vehicle fleet is showing significant age related to wear and tear throughout the fiscal year. Numerous repairs were required to maintain safe and reliable operations of the fleet. We anticipate this line item returning closer to normal levels next year as replacement vehicles are beginning to enter service and are covered under warranty. PD general expenditures, building maintenance. As the police facility is now more than 10 years old, several infrastructure and maintenance issues have begun to emerge and require attention during the fiscal year. These include replacement of a damaged flagpole, repeated plumbing repairs related to blockages in public restrooms, repairs to the fuel tank system, servicing the overhead garage doors, and additionally long-standing issues with the building's climate control system require constructive corrective maintenance. PD general expenditures, communications. The department has worked closely with vendors throughout the year to reduce recurring communication costs by eliminating unused phone lines, disconnecting inactive modems, and reviewing service needs. While this account is still projected to exceed budget, it is not expected to be fully expended to the level reflected in current purchase orders, as only 1 month remains in the fiscal year. So for this one independently, we pulled purchase orders throughout the full year for all of our utilities. We're not going to come even close to using all of the money requested for purchase orders. When we do the purchase orders, money is withdrawn from the account. So she's going to show we're at the negative. That will probably balance out. But once we don't expend those funds and release those funds, they'll be returned to the account and it'll probably balance. PD general expenditures, other supplies. Primary expenses contributing to overages in this line item include repairs to body worn cameras and radar equipment, ammunition purchases, annual license and costs associated with department's license plate reader system. Now will be up a little bit in this fiscal year. We knew that we weren't allocated enough to maintain our software vendors. PD general expenditures, professional education, retirements, staffing changes within the department, increased investment in training, leadership development, professional education has been necessary this fiscal year. Lieutenant Millardo, Detective Sergeant Williams, and Sergeant Ciccone successfully attended and graduated from the FBI leadership program. That program is three 1-week courses put on by the FBI. It's relatively expensive. Patrol Officer Moriarty Egan obtained bicycle certification, patrol bicycle certification. Excuse me. In addition, the majority of department personnel completed boating certificate training, and 8 officers are currently enrolled in EMT certificate courses. EMT certification is contractually required for certain personnel as the police department serves the town's designated medical first responder as a medical first responder. And that's we did ask for more money in the professional development and training budget this year. That also accounts for not only the cost of the training courses, but also the overtime and replacement costs of the officers for that training. I don't want that to change, to be honest, because one of my goals here is to develop this department. And one of the missions that were put on me by PERF and actually by the police commission too. We have a young department where they continue development. We did ask for more money and we did receive it this coming fiscal budget. So hopefully we're going to be able to stay within those constraints next year. I think we're a little ahead of it now. EMT is very expensive as well as those FBI courses. I think that explains a lot of the operating budget overages, which I typically go over, but I figure it's best to read that memo so you can see it presented to them. For line item, does anybody have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Just to comment, I know that this budget was in place before you even started, but it does for some of the things that have become overages right now. It's a lot of it is driven by the goals that you've established going forward, which were reflected in the budget that we've put together for next year. But I think it's understandable that those line items have resulted in overages because of the things that you're trying to do.
I think they're all important. I think we're all on the same page with what we're trying to accomplish in this police department. And I think you're right. I think this coming budget is more accurate and reflective of what we're trying to accomplish and the needs and costs of the department going forward.
We are trying to play catch up on things too.
A little bit.
And then even the building, like I've said a million times, not just in these meetings, but other meetings, they just never want to seem to set aside monies to do that. So it's unfortunate because then everything kind of compounds.
Yeah, the preventive maintenance on the building is going to end up being important. The HVAC especially, because not only is it a functionality thing, it's also a health condition. We need to clean the ductwork. We need to make sure that's running appropriately. Make sure our zones the temperature is controlled throughout the entire building so we don't have any issues. But where we're on, I think we got a good idea. Like the staff, Pat Hanley has been great at being a building maintainer. He knows that building in and out, and Jen knows exactly what we're paying for and we have paid for in the past and what vendors use. So we got a pretty good handle on it.
That's good. Thank you.
Will be the budget process, the referendum passed and the budget set. So there's not really much to talk about there. But wait for July 1st. Stay within the constraints of this budget, essentially is the goals here. Off budget accounts. Wasn't much movement. We had that we discussed in the last meeting. Expenditure that went beyond what we had food. I don't think we really have anything. Any great outliers this month. I will have some expenditure coming. Just I'm going to bring to your attention in the next month, maybe 2 months, as the 6 patrol cars that are on order come in. We are going to have to start ordering a lot of equipment that I didn't account for in the capital planning project for the cars that I wanted to accomplish through operating budgets. Try to reduce the amount that we had to finance, the town has to finance for these cars. So things like radios, computers, modems, are really things we're gonna have to start looking at the cost and how we get them for those operating expenses, whether it be emergency management, police this year, next year, we have to figure out where it's allocated. And potentially police admin off budget funds might be a source that we might have to dip into, but I'll bring that to you next meeting and let you know where we're at, what the expenses are going to be.
Okay.
Perfect.
Question for you.
Yes.
On the police K-9, there was a deposit of $10,000 made, and
Yeah,
it's noted as a donation.
yes, that was don't have person's name. I will bring that next month, but what that was it was an inheritance. Somebody
Okay.
was assigned to a
Just-
portion of the proceeds from their will. I wish I had their name. I feel bad I don't right now, but I will make sure we address that next month. And
Okay.
give the credit where credit is due. We're grateful for that, and it does. And that is a large portion, especially the canine fund. We get a lot of outside donations towards that, and that's what kind of keeps that going. A lot of those funds were now being used to outfit the new canine car for Sky, which is desperately needed, and it's going to be very nice, find a controlled, safe car for the dog and the handler. And we couldn't do it without these donations. But I will make sure we address it and
Okay,
give thanks where the need is. Next.
thank you.
Personnel matters. It's okay to move on to that. I have one personnel matter. And I didn't invite Foster here tonight that I'm speaking of, but he's actually in West River Island, a full bicycle class right now. So he wasn't gonna get here in time. He's there all week. So it's Officer Egan. So the Connecticut District Exchange Club asked that we do this annually, an officer that has really stood out for outstanding service to our community department. And I'm honored to be able to our choice for this year is Officer Connor Egan. I'll read the letter that I gave to the Exchange Club. We had dinner the other night to honor him with the Exchange Club, and then on the May 21st, there's a dinner statewide for all the department's representatives for their Officer of the Year. The Salute to the Finest is called at the Aquaturf. So Captain will be accompanying Officer Egan and his family there to get his award. So this memo is to the Exchange Club. Officer Connor Egan has served as a member of the Old Saybrook Police Department since September 22nd of 2022, and has quickly established himself as an integral part of the agency. His proactive approach to policing and strong commitment to roadway safety has made a measurable impact within the community. In 2025 alone, Officer Egan conducted 251 road vehicle stops and made 10 DUI arrests, demonstrating his dedication to removing impaired drivers from the road and reducing hazardous driving behaviors. His efforts have contributed to a meaningful progress in improving public safety and reducing serious motor vehicle accidents in Old Saybrook. Officer Egan is widely respected within the department as a dependable and supportive team member who consistently demonstrates professionalism, initiative, and willingness to assist his fellow officers. He embodies the values of teamwork and service that are essential to effective law enforcement. On the evening of October 31st, 2025, Halloween night, Halloween evening, Officer Egan's vigilance and decisive action prevented a potentially dangerous situation from escalating. While on patrol on Route 1, he observed a driver slumped over behind the wheel of a car, stopped at a red traffic light. Recognizing the immediate risk, Officer Egan positioned his patrol vehicle to prevent the operator from fleeing should he regain consciousness. When the driver awoke, he attempted to flee and struck Officer Egan's cruiser. The operator was subsequently found to be extremely intoxicated. Officer Egan's quick thinking and action prevented what could have resulted in a serious injury to members of the public, including families and children out trick-or-treating on Halloween, as well as fellow officers and the operator himself. Officer Egan's performance reflects a strong commitment to public safety and sound judgment under pressure and a genuine dedication to community service. He is a valued member of the Old Saybrook Police Department and is a deserving recipient of this recognition. So he accepted not the award, but the notice of the award the other night, and we'll get the award first.
That's great.
I'm proud to recognize him, and so is his colleagues and his fellow officers. So it's definitely a good choice.
I can't believe he's been here 40 years. I remember we hired him through
Yeah.
the Board of Ed building.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
good fit.
I have a question. Will we have a situation where we're honoring an officer or a staff member? And for this in particular, like Officer of the Year, is it possible that we could like have a cake at the department celebrating that award? I think that would be nice.
We can do it.
Are you guys in agreement
sure.
of that?
Sure.
That'd be a very nice thing to do.
Yeah, I think he'd appreciate it. He'd be here tonight, if it wasn't for that training. So, no, we could, I'll look into this.
Maybe
See
if
there's
his family wanted to attend, it would be
little
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's close to his family too, so it's be impactful for them.
Yeah, I think it would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I agree. We can do that. So then we're moving on to professional development update, and Captain Crawford's gonna do a professional development update and the activity report for us.
Good, everyone. First meeting here, I'm happy to be here. See everyone. So as far as professional development, there are a few things that the chief kind of touched on, a couple of the bicycle certification course that the officers already attended. Mentioned the 8 officers that attended the EMT classes. Along with that, we have coming up on June 7th, 6th, the chief here set up this Blue Bridge Autism Awareness Missing Persons training. It's going to be at the Cape from 9 to 12 on 27th June.
June or is it May?
May.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as that was May. It's going to be open to first responders and the public. I think that's a very good thing to hear, just especially for officers to learn how or know how to deal with individuals with autism. I remember years back when we went to the course in Hamden, and I learned a few things about dealing with these individuals, especially stimming. They're they're doing something, whatever makes them comfortable. And I understood that when we do stimming, this is our habits, right? Something you pull in your ear, something of that nature. Just being able to tell that it's not necessarily a threat, and just how to deal with them. Another thing I took away from it was just as far as they're drawn to water. So, was one of the first places to kind of look, miss a child, especially water, right? So just things along those lines. So it's a very important training that we had. And kudos to the chief for putting that together, right? This past month we went to 3 of our officers. It was Fox Egan. Rankin attended SRT training with the Hamden PD SRT team. That's just special response team. We plan on continuing to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies. So for example, if the officers are first that they need training or in certain areas, like building clearing, car stops, doesn't matter what it is, we'll try to get with other PDs, try to get that training to them. And it shows their areas of interest. Okay, so that's one thing that happened this month, and we'll continue to happen forward. Even June, Lieutenant Merlardo plans collaboration with Econ, do a voter training, search and seize arrested training, also radar training. Myself, after meeting with our staff or frontline supervisor staff or sergeants, I know the chief mentioned a few of her other supervisors successfully completed the trilogy of the FBI leadership training. Of course, I'm also a member. I've gone through that training. I think at least the SLI, it's going to be the Supervisor Leadership Institute. Those are one of 3 of these separate classes that gives you trilogy. I think it's very, very useful to our frontline supervisors, our sergeants. So we're going to try to throughout the remainder of the year, depending on when the classes are scheduled and how far away, try to get each of the remaining 4 sergeants to the frontline. Of course, then I know as a supervisory dispatcher, Daniel Adams set up a dispatch response to active military. Pretty much what it is, it's to train our dispatchers, just kind of to the level of the state police dispatchers, their academy, state training. It's to kind of teach and prepare our dispatchers to if and when a critical incident happens, questions to ask and how to get information out as fast as possible. From what he explained, that they'll go through scenarios that we taught in the class, go through scenarios. That'll be September 9th to the 10th at our PD, OSPD, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And I guess the deal is because we're hosting, we get 10 bodies from elsewhere, we'll get a free seat. So we'll send 2 of our dispatchers for free.
Oh, nice.
So it lends to collaboration too. So we're hosting that, inviting everybody to us. It's supportive for other agencies, and in turn, we get the support like presenting officers. They hand it. We don't have trainers in every topic, or we cover the basics essentially. But if officers bring us things that they're interested in or some deficiencies or concerns, we have to be able to have those resources to reach out to other agencies that have the trainers or have the experience and send them. And that's another thing we're doing here, collaborating with the dispatchers as well, to make sure we have that mutual aid, collaboration amongst the agencies surrounding us as well. Yeah, that's actually what they call it.
That's not my words.
They used to call active shooter, now it's active
Okay,
killer.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that's what he said.
Nice. I believe it's
Yeah, so I think that's it for professional development. Does anybody have any questions for that?
I have a question. For the autism event at the Cape, how is the public being made aware of that?
So we put it on social media.
Okay.
They put it out. I put it on I talked to the Harbor News.
Okay.
They put it in an interview with me last week. So I tried to plug that a little bit. We've been kind of plugging in word of mouth. And I have been hearing around town people talking about it, so it's getting out there. But we're going to do a social media blast, probably later this week or next week, to make sure it gets out there as well. Because I sent personal invites to all the first responders around us, law enforcement, EMS, and fire. But it's also open to the public. There's 250 seats, 240 seats there to fill there, and I want to make sure that we're paying for this training, that it's open to everybody that can possibly attend and receive it.
How are you doing with getting the EMTs and all the people that are?
So they were halfway through. it's been good, you know, and, you know, we get these 8 through, with the 6 that we have, we're about halfway there with getting our department certified, with everybody certified. But, and then me and Joe got to do as well. So we're tracking, we've got a very good trainer.
So how many you have signed up so far?
Are you
to
talking
go
about the autism or EMT?
the autism?
Oh, so I thought you said EMT.
No,
I'm gonna translate from
well,
our-
I meant that, you know,
No, okay, so, we didn't do registration. So, officers, when they come, they have to sign a sheet, and that's because they get credits for, their post recertification training. So they'll have to sign a sheet when they come. The public can just come. I think Brett will be just tracking the number of people who come, so we don't go beyond capacity, which I don't think we will. But no, we haven't done any type of registration. It's just first come, first serve. But I think we'll be plenty of seats.
Is there any collaboration with the school superintendent?
Yeah, but thank you for asking. I did. I opened it up and they're sending teachers, social workers,
Oh,
parents.
good.
So, you know, trying to work around schedule, 3-hour training. Youth and families been invited, you know, with the whole fire department, the whole ambulance service.
That's great.
So it's open to everybody. I mean, I wanted to send those personal invites to do what they were asking them directly, but it's really open to everybody.
If you have Facebook, share it as much as you can. I think it's
Yeah.
on like 10 different pages. I'm
It ha-
driving
yeah,
people crazy with it, but
It has been on Facebook quite a while.
yes.
If you have any like flyers, I wouldn't mind putting them at the library or the town hall bulletin board.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have Facebook, so I'm just thinking of other people in that category.
Library is a
That-
great idea.
Yeah,
you know how you invited us to go to that?
Yeah.
If you have more important people go than us, please let it, well, what I mean, if you got other police department that wanna go and stuff like that, that's fine. If you-
No, I think we'll be in good shape. So I brought it to Greg. He said 240 seats is a lot of seats, a lot of people to come, so.
is it open to, or has it been, shared with like the shoreline departments,
Yeah.
Guilford up?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, they're
good.
all the way from, I even invited Hamden. Since we hit East Haven up the shoreline and then, up to, all the way to East Lyme with London, Norwich.
Oh, that's great.
So we just use all our, through email. But yeah, we share it.
That's nice. Thank you for doing that.
And then, you know, we are gonna be pushing, I think the captain's gonna be handling it, the community sessions, crime, like crime briefings for the public, awareness type piece. Now, that kind of falls under some of the training things we're gonna be doing, and, he's gonna be putting the program together to maybe monthly, just host a meeting with the public, just get in front of them, kind of coach them on, you know, crime trends, the frauds out there, the scams out there, what to be aware of, what not to fall for. So we're gonna try to get ahead of that, especially for some of our elderly residents who want to make sure that they're a little more in the know and we can prevent some of these situations.
You know, a great place to have that would be the estuary.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for the Cape, to be honest. I don't want to over ask it, but
It's municipal building, it's ours. You know.
yeah, right.
And I've already
Ask Renee, she'll know.
So, I've already told her.
That's just
Good.
great.
Don't forget about the other two things.
I believe, do you have, you know, an OSBD tent? You know, that you could put on the green and maybe have like a,
Well,
yeah, like a little welcome day or
we can do that.
ask a question or,
Yeah, we're thinking more
something.
like hosting,
or a host event.
you know, like a talk around, like with the.
Oh, that's a good
public,
term. I
kind
like
of
that.
thing, like, you know, kind of run down, but you know, question and answer too. And it's not just us, and we can bring in other resources, the Secret Service, does a lot of fraud prevention stuff.
Almost like a touch-a-truck where different departments are invited, but there's a presence from every department that can almost do a, you know,
Yeah.
a talking point on fraud for you guys or whatever.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
think
not-
that would
or you
be-
just merge into other community events and just have a topic
Hmm,
to address when people come up to. We do have different pamphlets that we can hand out for different things.
yeah, Do like a little giveaway or.
Frauds, like, there's a lot of different resources we can put out there.
Okay, so October 17th, we're doing Helping Homeless Kids and Families Alliance, so I'm gonna sign you up for that.
Yeah, actually, Mike, they have emergent.
You guys did car seat checks last time for us, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, this pregnant lady, she looked like she was almost ready to give birth. She showed up, she was so excited. Amanda's out there, she's pregnant. She's climbing in the back of the car, putting the car, I'm like, oh my
No, it's a
God.
great program.
Yes,
I love having it, and, you know, we do have car seats for those in need. And we do want to push those out when they expire too, so I don't want to have much car seats on the shelf that are expiring. I'd rather get people using them, having them.
I never heard of car seats.
well,
Yeah,
you
they
think
do,
you have
they
it
expire.
differently, and you don't. It's
Because
like
there's
change.
different
It's year,
safety
tighter.
I haven't had to put a car seat in the car in a long time.
Just so you know.
So I think it's all professional development. We want to cover the activity report. Yeah, we work with staff. They outline it.
Well, let's talk about, it's a company building piece, right? And this just goes on where we, educate everyone, but more so the elderly population. So, as of recent, Detective Sergeant Williams, I think you guys would be on this, please. Yeah, all right, so just an update on that. The arrest was made. And the IRS has agreed to adopt the case, which means it's gonna go federal now.
He's talking about the Saybrook investment.
So the arrest was made,
I
the
don't
person
think
is
I know
now
about
made
that.
bond, and now
With a large loss. I know, thinking back, but I don't know if they were agreed. An internal employee issue resulted in embezzlement of a large amount of funds from the business of Saybrook Point now. And they brought it to us. We drafted arrest warrants for the one individual that was directly responsible for all of the embezzlement. The arrest warrant was granted, and we served the warrant. Obviously, the felony charges, the large larceny. There's also identity theft and computer crimes. But one of the larger components to it, believe it or not, was the tax implications, tax fraud, some of the IRS cases. So we spoke to the IRS, and they were going to essentially adopt the case and take it over. The state attorney has to approve those adoptions, and they do. They agree that that's probably the right place for it to be prosecuted. So the IRS is going to be taking over. It's going to be prosecuted federally as opposed to on the state level, which has a higher one. It's the penalty scale is much larger and more stringent. But two, what's most impactful in my mind is there's ability for the IRS to get full restitution for the victim, which is the business, whereas the state has limited resources to get the restitution. So it was a better course of action to take for the victim, outside of all the other reasons, but it was just the restitution piece alone made sense.
Has that been in the paper or public?
No, we didn't publicize that. I didn't do press release something. It was a large sum, so that's why we're bringing it up.
Okay.
Well. So Detective Williams got this is another fraud. So it was a 94-year-old victim of another fraud of $67,000. Detective Williams was a wire scam, transferring money, and this victim was duped out of a large sum of money. The Detective Williams has a very viable suspect, and they're working that case diligently. And we think we're going to be able to do something with that relatively soon. There's been a lot of search warrants drafted, and there will be an arrest warrant coming for that.
Is that something local that took place? Local in the sense of the person who.
The person's not local, no. And that's typical. It's like phishing schemes to see who's.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even here, the town hall gets them weekly. There's a scam going out. There's a lot of people duplicating a lot of town documents. That's a lot of permits. So they'll send, or what is it? Is it building permits?
It's zoning
Zoning.
primarily,
Yeah,
where they see the zoning activity and they send invoices to people out of the blue that are involved with these things, saying that they need to pay these invoices to be able to move their petitions and things forward. And it's all completely bogus.
yeah, they just
Oh,
take like
goodness.
our emblem and make up a fake letter and then, thank God nobody has fallen for it yet, but there's been at least a dozen attempts that I know of just, Saybrook.
It's happening all the time.
Yeah. So
Wow.
fraud is, fraud larcenies drive a lot of our crime here in Old Saybrook. Outside of the motor vehicle component of things. The property crime is really, we don't experience a lot of burglaries. Thank God, we don't experience a lot of robberies. It's not a lot of violent crime. But we do get a lot of fraud and larceny from our retail establishments.
High value too.
Yeah, we're
That's
a community where people
Goodness.
have access to the resources that other communities
Terrible.
probably don't. And, when they fall victim and believe in these things, they send a lot of money. So,
It's terrible.
so we want to go over the crime events. Yeah. So we don't have any more cases to go over, but if we have to want to go over some of the stats. No, just any outliers. I think we would, unless you have questions, go over every part of that. We pretty much just identify things that were kind of significant or there's a rate raise or decrease. One part of the vehicle.
Yeah, if we look at, the vehicle stats, I think there is a little relative, aspect of focus a little low right now. Chief and I, we discussed about the possibilities of reasons as to why. As far as, we know obstacles that are in the attorney union. It's getting close to the end of the year, the fiscal year, where we have to use vacation, and we lose it, so a lot of officers holding time off. And we have those eight officers on, EMT class, so that prevents us from having the fourth car and shift sometimes, where that fourth officer is conduct all of these proactive, activities. We haven't been able to help it. It's like,
Yeah,
Just driving to New Haven and back today, there's plenty of room for enforcement out there.
if you look at the, where we're actually at with our enforcement, with our motor vehicle stops, we're still making a lot of stops. Our officers are making a lot of contacts and talking to a lot of the public, reinforcing the behaviors in town in terms of the traffic behaviors. We're not seeing the numbers like we were 6 months ago. And like the captain said, that first car we do have on the road when we're at full contingent, it's on special assignment. So when that fourth unit is out there, they're not necessarily a radio call or call service car. They're on a special assignment. They're doing special enforcement throughout the day, whether it's stop sign, red light, speed enforcement. So that's why you see those numbers dip a little bit, is that one car could generate 10, 15 stops a day just by being left alone to just be on a special assignment. But we're going to get back there, as soon as we get some of these people out of training, some of our staff back from maternity leave. We're at full contingent. We decided with 24 officers, so we're going to be at the staff level where we need it. That's really no other outliers that I saw.
No.
Did I hear that the bike training is for a week?
Yeah, so it's a full week of mountain bike school to get the officers certified so they can actually ride in our community,
Okay.
which is great timing. I wanted to get a few more, and I'm going to try to get 2 more in June. So Celebrate Saybrook, I want officers on the bikes. I want live weekend. I want all the film things. Halloween, I want officers on the. So there's a lot of special events that I think will feel relevant. And then you know, as we have officers are certified, they can take bike lane patrol, they can ride for a half hour or whatever it may be. Patrol Main Street or, you know, whatever we decide is the best, use of that resource. So we wanted to make sure that for summer, especially 4th of July and Celebrate Saybrook, that we want to have 2 officers that are certified to ride those.
Another high bike time for kids is first day, last day of school. They usually ride their bikes because it's a half day typically, especially the last day. Yeah.
We'll be certified Friday, so we'll have. It's good to know. So we'll do that now.
Can you circle back to one thing? Where are we at with dispatchers? Did we have them training new people?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we have 2 in training right now,
Okay.
which is generating some, obviously, when we have all dispatchers in training, we have, instead of 2 in the room, we're paying for 3.
Okay.
So it's generating some extra expenses on our end, but, they're both doing very well. They both have very great background. I kind of knew they had the competency to do it. So they're good picks. And by the end of the month, they're both going to be, really up their own shift.
Okay.
They're both tracking, they're going to pass it. It's very good.
Thank
Cool.
Golf cart registration, I think we kind of covered that pretty well last meeting. It's open, we're taking them in, there's really not much to change. We really had it on there because we wanted to discuss the fee last month,
Mhm.
which we ironed out. So that's available at headquarters.
I've had people ask, can they print that flyer out or can the beach association send it out?
We print it, they have to manually bring it back to us, so we didn't go online with it. So we
No,
don't-
not the registration, the flyer that you made that says like where you can ride, when
Oh, I
you can
love what they
ride.
did. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, no,
yeah.
Carol from Cornfield Point, she had asked me and I figured it was fine, they could just print it out and share it with.
No, we were trying to
Okay.
get that information out there, because I attended, Indiantown Beach Association meeting last, and I gave them lunch.
Okay.
I addressed, you know, our expectations for golf carts and e-bikes at that meeting. So no, I definitely want to get the information out, and we're gonna, all summer, we're gonna be pushing that out, reminding people. Golf carts they're cars essentially, where you wouldn't throw your keys to your kids, let's not throw keys to their 13-year-old and tell them to have at it, so. There's definitely, you know, there's ways to do this correctly, and, you know, it's something that we want to eliminate, but we want to make sure it's done safely.
Can I ask a question with the golf carts? What if you got an officer on patrol and we find a person that doesn't have a registered golf cart? What happens at that point?
So it could be towed, you know, and it probably should be towed. It's no different than unregistered, uninsured, motor vehicle on the road. Doesn't belong there, and it's a lot of liability for us to safely to tell you, hey, get it home. You know, something happens between that point and home, it's on us. So it'll be towed.
Yeah, because I had a couple of people stop me and say, you know, there's a lot of unregistered golf carts. And, you know, 2 people talked to me about it at the gym the other day. They're worried about e-bikes because the kids aren't paying attention on these e-bikes. And they're driving them so fast because they go pretty quick. And I think we have to keep an eye on it.
Oh, we are. So actually, do you want to touch base on that, the Linux training?
Yeah, so,
Costa,
Amanda, Officer Amanda Costa. She, we had a meeting and, I'm gonna try to step up our, lineup training. Like, lineup is when you come in for your tour of duty for that particular day, particular shift. You meet with your fellow officer, the supervisor, and they tell you what potential areas or what's been going on for the shift prior to your arrival. You get your equipment together and head out to your area of responsibility in town. So during this time, we're gonna try to just, it'll be a quick 15-minute training on whatever topic, current event that it may be. As of recent, Officer Costa, she put together a couple booklets or pamphlets, if you will, that outlines the laws with e-bikes and also golf cart, and the map that said that you put where you can actually drive. I guess it's up there.
Yeah, we're just trying to, anything that's not a state road, there's a map of the road that it's allowed, but any state road is not allowed. But she's doing refresher training, essentially, it's only 15 minutes, but it's daily. So and I think we have to do it every summer, you gotta refresh the officers, and the laws have changed too, so it's e-bike, it's golf cart, it's where they're allowed to be driven, the requirements to drive them. So the captain put, she's one of the officers on maternity leave, so we use the resource, she let her put together a little bit of training, pamphlet, and she's actually actively doing the training with officers. So they're all gonna get refresher on those topics next week. That means
No, she's already done it. She's done it.
Oh, so already started.
She already started, but quick note, as far as the e-bikes, that she actually told me this, if it has a pedal that's functional, you can see someone without a pedal, less electronic, bicycles, it's still gonna be referred to as a, dirt bike, and so it's still, ride it on the road, right? So, it has to have a functional pedal. So sometimes they'll say, well, it's an e-bike, and it doesn't have a pedal. I didn't know this, to be honest with you, until she gave me that information. So now as an officer, you go out, you need a license to ride it, not, pretty much bikes, right? So just trainings like that, just brief trainings, current events, I think it's a good idea just to keep our officers' minds or brains fresh on the law, because the law does change. It's never the same. It's always a little tweaks here or there, just to keep us up to date. So Lieutenant Merlardo did a very good job with that as well.
With regard to the e-bikes, and the golf carts at the town beaches, they have a cabinet there where you can post flyers. And there's so many kids there. Like, we just had a warm weekend. The e-bikes are lined up. So it would be a really good place because everybody stands there once the stand opens to get their popsicles all day. So it would be a really good place for one of your flyers about what to do and not to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
great.
Once somebody gets nailed, or gets something
Word of
happens,
mouth,
Talk.
yeah.
word of mouth is gonna get out quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the intent is to talk to the parents, let them know what, this is not allowed. Some of the parents don't know. They think it's a bicycle,
Yeah.
kids take off, and it's really a dirt bike. So I think the whole point is identify the people driving them that shouldn't be driving them. Let's talk to the parents, let's talk to the kids. I would like to start with the education piece. I don't want to start seizing everybody bicycle and, being the party police. But it's gonna come to that, people either extreme reckless behavior or repeated behavior. It's gonna come to some sanctions being given, but right now I'd like to get the education out there and hopefully the parents, sinks into the parents. The Board of Ed is helping with us with it before school lets out. They're giving refreshers to all the parents, and the students as well. Because they have the same issue, all these kids ride the campus every day on these things. And they have the same concerns that the kids are gonna get hurt that we do. And the superintendent has been super responsive. He brought it up to me. He wanted to start pushing a lot of this stuff and making sure that he could potentially prevent one kid from getting hurt. And we're gonna respond.
Go ahead.
No.
Speaking about the schools, how are we making out with getting the numbers in the windows?
It's gonna be our summer project.
Oh, is it? Okay,
So
perfect.
once schools that let out, it'll be a lot easier to work with the facilities and they get that going and the proper placement and aesthetics. We'll take a little window. It doesn't have to be much. Just be a little corner, just something that we can actually see as officers and first responders. Doesn't have to be overly prominent. It doesn't have to be ugly. Just be somewhere. So we'll get that going. That'll be our summer project once the schools are closed. I'll work with the superintendent and the Board of Ed to make sure that they agree and approve, and we'll fund it through emergency management.
Yeah, because I saw it on St. John's and I said, boy, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and some of the schools have done it, and it looks a little gaudy, in my opinion. Huge letters right in the middle, like they can accomplish the same thing, put it in the corner. People don't know what it is. It's don't really recognize it. So we'll do it in a respectful, classy way that doesn't look too bad, but it has the same purpose.
Thank you.
There's also the school training. Are you continuing with that during the summer months? Oh, good.
Yeah, the active
So-
shooter training.
yeah.
Before school goes back into session, we are going to be doing that training as well. I think Master Sergeant DeMarco kind of leads that training. And that we do bring in, a few retired officers that have some certifications in those. And we will do that, and that's really great training, one, to refresh the officers on the skills, but two, familiarity with schools. So getting officers walking through the schools, becoming familiar with, school and
And implementing that new program, the numeric number
Yeah.
window.
But that's,
Yeah.
you know, that.
So that's an added
component.
component that they have to
Yep.
consider.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we'll make sure that's done before we do our training, but as soon as the school lets out, we're gonna start those conversations.
That's
to-
great.
to bring it
Thanks
up.
for bringing that up, Mark.
Yeah, then, the captain has been reviewing all of our operations and policies in our facilities. He's making some recommendations for detention changes and lockup and make it a little safer. He's got a lot of experience in other facilities. It would be New Haven, the state, DOC facilities, Branford, Hampton. And we're kind of looking at best practices in terms of how we manage prisoners and the facilities and our access or egress. So he's made some recommendations that we're gonna be putting forward. It really would be low cost things. I think the biggest possibility was the door panel.
Yes.
Yeah, just an exit. So you should have a keypad to every other personal access to exit. Right now, it's just a fob, so. Not to give too many details, but. So
Is
we're
that
gonna-
linked to a computer that identifies the fob and the officer?
Exactly.
Okay.
But we need to have a better system, and maybe that's what he's, looking into. And, we're gonna make some changes in there. Some of it is relevant, to some of our citizen complaints that we've had. So I think it's a good time to maybe update and fresh. Perfect.
That's great.
So fleet update, we do have some good updates. We just got 2 of our new cars in. They're gonna be outfitted. It's gonna take a few weeks to start getting those outfitted. In 3 weeks, it looks like we'll receive delivery of the K9 pickup truck to replace the car that, Tech Sergeant Williams is skying right now. And again, that'll take a few weeks to outfit that one. That has a little more equipment, so that'll take maybe about a month to get that one completely online once we receive it. And then, the finance director, secured financing, for the 6 patrol cars that we are gonna finance. And those cars have been ordered, and we're anticipating receiving those around August. And hopefully be able to roll out all 6 by the fall. When we drop off 6 cars, we turn around about 2-3 weeks per car. So we're hoping by October to have all the cars online. That's why we're looking at, radios, computers, modems, some of the more expensive items right now. We're sort of purchasing or diving into, see where we can find the funds for those things if we don't want to overdo the financing.
That's a good point.
That installation is against it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a nice thing too. I know it's recommended by the first selectmen. Almost everybody in the state uses MHQ in Middletown. Unbeknownst to me, we had an outfitter right here in town, AEP, on Mill Rock, that does all the work for DOT, and he was diving into some of the law enforcement work in the state. So I went and looked at some of the work. He just did a bunch of cars for Yukon, and they came out beautiful. So we're gonna keep the work in town with the local vendor.
That's great.
And it was actually significantly cheaper too. So it worked out really well.
And quicker.
Yeah, right, yes. Yeah,
If
to-
you
to
need
get a
something,
vendor.
it's down the road.
That's, and it does,
How
so that's
convenient.
important too, so, we get something fixed, something serviced, or at least get to them, drop off parts, whatever. 3 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
As opposed to driving 45 minutes back and forth, so.
Right. I have a question about the vehicles. Is it possible, I know they'll be under warranty, but we do have vehicles that the warranty is kind of phasing out. Is it possible to engage in other repair shops and not only use one designated repair shop just to kind of offset maybe the timing of the delay of the repair, or if a part's on back order?
we started, so we just started, 2 months ago. Brake jobs, wheel changes, some exhaust work. So we're outsourcing to other shops around Saybrook, not just a Chevy dealership. We're testing it. I'd say we're in the test phase for that.
Okay,
See the quality of work and quality of parts that are happening. There's been some questionable issues with some of the cars coming back for different shops, which we're trying to vet out whether it's the right course of action or
so it's
not.
like a pilot.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
kind of testing it out, but I don't want to sacrifice any type of safety of the officers.
Oh, yeah.
Proceeding. So we're kind of trying to figure it out what's the best course. The Chevy dealership, the GM dealership, is probably going to be the best product. It's also the most expensive. Some of the more minor repair work is what we're trying to target and see what can be outsourced.
Okay.
Part of the problem is the brakes on those cars, that you can get an original equipment, and I don't think the person that was manufacturing the AC Delco ones, I don't think you can get a suit package ones, so they don't put those on. You don't put much time out of the brakes. I mean, the brakes were not engineered correctly, I don't think those cars at the beginning, because we were going through them very fast.
Yeah. So they're the Brembo brake system. On
Which
kind
are
of
not cheap.
right, and then kind of on a passenger rotor. So it's I don't know exactly. Hopefully, in 2026 maybe something's changed.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you're not putting the AC Delta parts on there, that was kind of where we're kind of questioning when we're doing some of this. Are we getting the same quality of
Yeah.
parts or not? I don't know yet, to be honest. So that's it for fleet update. If you want to move on and move.
Yeah, do you have anything else to report?
No.
I think was, okay. Okay, next, discussion and possible action to enter into executive session pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 1-206A to discuss a personal matter, inviting in the chief and Captain Crawford.
And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
This question would be if they like to comment, they should raise their hand.
Yes.
Well, we're not at that point yet.
Yeah, we're at.
Yeah, we're at
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're
We are out of executive session.
We're there.
No hands are raised.
okay.
What about her says allowed to talk?
Oh,
That's nothing.
hands raised.
Okay.
Good, chief.
Well, that's right.
Comments from commissioners?
I'm all set.
Nope. All set today.
Good.
The only thing I want to say is congratulations to Captain Crawford. I wasn't here last month.
Thank you, sir.
To say congratulations, and I'm looking forward to working with you for the next year and a half.
Thanks, sir.
I'm all set. And again, welcome and thank you for the chaplain. Appreciate that.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? I'm sure. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?